Well, we're back with another manga review, but also I'm not just talking about the manga. I'm talking about the anime mostly. My Dress Up Darling. Now, before we get into this video, I will give a quick disclaimer. There will be spoilers for this show. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend you go and watch season 1. You can get it. You can watch it off of Crunchyroll for free, but it won't be in English, or you can pirate it like a normal person. Either way, it is really good, and I do recommend it. Just ignore the fan service scenes, and you'll really love it. My Dress Up Darling. Real quick, let's talk about the characters we have. We have Wakanawa Gojo, or just Gojo for short. Uh, he is our main character, our main protagonist, and our love interest of Marin Kitagawa. She is our main girl, the best character in the show, and the cover girl of My Dress Up Darling. And then we have Gojo's grandpa. He's important too. We're going to go ahead and throw him in there. All right, that's it. Those are the characters. You get the gist. Now let's talk more about the setting. The setting for My Dress Up Darling, it takes place when episode 1 starts with our boy Gojo waking up alone in his room, no girlfriend, no friends, no social life, and underneath his room, his grandfather owns a Hina doll shop. Now, if you don't know what Hina dolls are, they are traditional Japanese dolls that are used for either worship or decoration. They look like this, and after doing some research, they actually take a ton of skill to make, and a lot of time and effort. And that's what his grandpa makes for a living. And Gojo also is trying to pursue that career of making Hina dolls. Now, we start the day, and Gojo's grandfather asks him, "Do you have any friends at school?" Gojo gives him the answer of, "Yeah, of course I do. They're all in different clubs and they live far away." And we get cut to Gojo in school, and he doesn't have any. He sits in the corner alone by himself, and we get some inner monologue from him saying, "Even if I did try to talk to these people, I'd make it awkward anyway and screw it up. I don't even deserve to be here." Rough start for this guy. And while he's in class, our main girl, Marin, she trips and hits her head on his desk. She gets up and immediately starts apologizing to him, like a normal person would, being basic human decency. And Gojo, of course, freaks out. And now Marin, she's known as one of the more popular girls in school because she is very outgoing and very bubbly, I think is the word. I don't know, but she's popular. So Gojo knows this, and he freaks out, like, "Oh, shoot, I shouldn't even be talking to you." And she's like, "No, it's no big deal." And she goes about her day eventually after finding out that she didn't accidentally, hurt him in any way. And while she's across the room still talking, she's having a heated discussion with her friends about a guy she rejected yesterday because he made fun of a little little plush clip to her bag. So she shot him down after he tried to hit on her. And Gojo was sitting there looking at her across the room, thinking she's not afraid to talk about what she likes and her passions. She's like an alien from another world compared to me, and she's surrounded by friends and people all the time. So he alienates himself and treats himself like he's an entirely different person because he's kind of autistic and he doesn't know how to interact with people. I have a serious suspicion that Gojo does have autism. I don't know, but I think he might. If there's I'm gonna do some more studies on this. I might make another video on it or short, but he might. And after that end of the day comes, he goes home. He starts working on one of the Hina dolls again. Now, Hina dolls, making them is his passion. That's what he enjoys. He enjoys crafting them. He likes the time, the effort. That's just what he enjoys doing. He enjoys making. He enjoys making them. Nothing wrong with that, dude. If you find something you like doing, do it. And while he's making them, the sewing machine that he uses to make the clothes for the dolls, it breaks and cuts his finger, and his grandpa decides, "I'll have to buy a new one tomorrow." So Gojo, while he's at school, he still wants to keep working on the clothes that he's currently making for that Hina doll. So he goes to the home ec room that never gets used and uses the sewing machine in there. And while he's making it, Marin, of all people, Marin walks in on him. He's in there rapidly gooning like crazy. I'm kidding. No, he was just in there trying to sew. And when she walked in, he freaks out, trips, and she sees what he's working on and asks, "Can I see it?" And instead of making fun of him like he thought, Gojo was bracing himself for the worst. He's going to be made fun of for making what he enjoys making. And what do we see? She tells him, hey, this is really good. You did an amazing job making this. And this is like foreign, almost alien to Gojo. I love the emotion you could see on his face in the scene here. It's honestly awesome. And as he asked her, "What are you doing in here?" So she changes out into an outfit she'd been making, and it looks like shit. And Gojo, goes off on her like, "You don't know how to sew. You don't know any of this." And she's like, "Well, no, upset." And she says, "Well, I'm trying to do a cosplay of a character I really like." Gojo, not knowing what this is, asks her, and she explains it. Well, it turns out Marin is far from normal. She's, in fact, also an autistic little shit, because she really enjoys playing eroge visual novels. Now, after doing some research on that, God shun my eyes, she likes playing hentai video games. Strange person. Now, further into this, Gojo does agree to help her make this cosplay because he can sew. And in his mind, he's going to do it because if I see her smile, if I make a friend, this would all be worth it. Dang. That is... I feel kind of bad for Gojo. He's alone. I'm rambling. Now, as time passes, they communicate a bit more, and we see Gojo working incredibly hard to get this cosplay done for Marin. And he starts rushing himself to the point to get it done where he has an extreme burnout. And we all know how burnout feels. And Gojo, we actually see him break down and cry because he's so stressed that he's not going to finish it in time and he's going to disappoint her. And she's going to hate his guts. And poor Gojo, he just wants to make a friend. Now, for a little bit of lightning, when Gojo was very little, and the reason he lives with his grandpa is because when he was extremely young, his parents died in a car crash, and for a few years, he didn't talk at all. And he didn't even go to school. He stayed homeschooled at his house, locked up, traumatized over losing his parents in a car crash, living with his grandfather. And he ended up making a friend with this girl that we do not get the name of. And she sees Gojo, from a young age, the way he got back to connecting and even communicating with his own granddad and pulling out of his shell in the slightest after losing his parents was crafting Hina dolls. And she tells him, Gojo, you're so weird for making those. So is your grandpa. And she calls him a weirdo and runs, which also furthers Gojo's insecurities. It embeds it in him for so long that it follows him into high school when we meet him later. Now, back to the story and what's happening. We see Gojo working on this. He's putting so much time into it, so much effort. And he cries, has burnout, and he works on it so much. But even after he cries, he gets up and he keeps working on it. And that night, he finishes Marin's cosplay. Now, when Marin shows up the next day, and she sees how tired Gojo is, where he had stayed up all night before she even tries on the cosplay or does anything, she has guilt, like actual guilt. They don't play it off as, oh, silly me, whoops, I didn't even make you work so hard, and then they move on. She feels actual guilt for working him so hard and not taking into account his own well-being, not realizing she had pushed him without realizing it. And she apologizes to him, and it was incredibly sweet and moving. Because there's so many other times in romances where we don't see this. They just move on and treat it as a silly joke. They act like actual humans and acknowledge that, which was really rare to see, but also incredibly wholesome to see. And also, we get the insanely popular fan service moment of the anime. Now, God forbid my one ever walks in on me watching this, because God forbid, Marin, I love you, but stop jiggling. Now, as we continue, she tries on the cosplay. She absolutely loves it. And Gojo's happy that he got her to smile. And that was it for Volume 1 and the first maybe 3 episodes of the anime. It was incredibly sweet and wholesome, and also the portrayal of burnout in Gojo is amazing. And Gojo, apart from other romances, he's not a self-insert protagonist with a blank slate. He is his own person, which is refreshing to see. And he's such a good person too. And Gojo has a hard time knowing how to be himself in front of people because he's afraid of judgment and being treated harshly by others. Marin is not afraid of that at all. She is outgoing and she is willing to go up to a random stranger on the street, sidewalk, and tell that person, I like playing hentai visual novels. I'm a loser. I mean, first off, you have to have some wild confidence to admit that ever, much less be that passionate about what you are passionate about, Marin. But you do you, girl. And Gojo doesn't know how to be himself, but the big underlying theme in My Dress Up Darling, the first 3 episodes, and this first volume of the manga is be yourself and don't worry about judgment from others. You need to always be yourself, no matter who that person may be. If it makes you happy being who you truly are, then you need to be who you truly are. And that is an amazing lesson to have in this. And also, it's just really cute. And apart from the fan service that is in there, if you look past that, it is an incredibly beautiful story. Now, once I get the second volume, I'll talk about the anime and the manga both some more. But that's it. And for a personal lesson to anyone that does watch this, take from My Dress Up Darling the lesson they teach you: be yourself. As hard as it may be, be yourself. It'll make you so much more happy to truly just be who you are. That's a lesson we can all take in now. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If there's another series you would like me to check out, let me know. I will try to get my hands on it. But for now, that is it.